instead of it being a thing of taking self-accountability for. I have that because now I can like show people like, bro, I literally went from that to where I am now. Like, you can really do this, but it's a matter of like, some people just need the reminder that it's not a specific person and it's not just special people why they have certain types of lives. Obviously, there are some people who happen to be born with a certain type of lifestyle, or who happen to be born with certain types of parents, or happen to be born in certain situations. But a lot of this comes down to choice. A lot of it comes down to decisions being made. It's not going to be beneficial to you for you to be complaining about you not being born a certain way, or you not being born into a certain type of lifestyle, or you not being handed certain type of opportunities. An opportunity that is natural, like your birthright, is the choice, is a choice to choose. You know, you have the ability to choose, and so it's up to you if you're going to make that choice or not. But to look at all the things that you don't have, and to compare yourself to other people, comparing and contrasting is not going to do anything for you either. Again, letting yourself fall into a victim mindset is a very harmful thing to do to yourself. But at the same time, I'm not really blaming anybody for that, because a lot of people grow up around people who also have victim mindsets. So obviously, as a child, if you grow up seeing people with victim mentalities, you know, that's something that may rub off on you. But at that point, you know, as you get older and you start to realize certain things, you have self-realization, you will start to understand that it's up to a choice, that you have a choice, and certain decisions that you make will have certain types of results. And just remember, like, comparing yourself and looking at, okay, well, this person made that choice, it resulted in this, but I made this choice and it resulted in this. You're not the same people. Like, you're two completely different people who went through two completely different things, and it doesn't matter. Like, what are you going to get from doing that? The only thing that you're going to get from saying, okay, this person did this and they did this, but when I did it, it's this, you're just pouring into that victim mentality. You're just pouring into that victimhood. That's the only thing you're going to get from that. And all that's going to do is have you be in a repeated cycle where something will happen, you'll take it personally, you'll be in your ego and say that everything bad happens to you, you don't deserve, blah, 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 all this negative self-talk. And then something else will happen from that, you'll do the same thing, and you'll just keep repeating that same cycle, and you'll be stuck. That's what that is. But this video is just for anybody who thinks like that, you know, or is having a hard time with that. Like, yes, your parents might live a certain type of way, but you can make that decision to change. Sure, there's some people who didn't have to go through that. Oh, well, this is real life, this is what it is. Like, what are you going to get out of looking at what someone else is dealing with or what someone else is going through? Like, seriously, ask, like, you have to really, like, really just sit and ask yourself that, like, what am I really gonna get out of doing this? Like, what is really gonna happen? The only thing that's gonna happen is you're just gonna keep doing the same thing. You're gonna wake up and do the same thing tomorrow. You're gonna wake up and do the same thing the next day. That's literally all that's gonna happen, and the only way to change that. And also, don't start thinking that somebody's gonna come in randomly, like, come into your life and save you. Like, nobody's coming to save you, you know what I mean? Like, save you in the sense where they'll come to you and they'll shake you and snap you out of it and start just changing your entire life, like, then gave you the life that you want. Like, that's not something that really happens, you know. Of course, there are those rare situations where some people do get presented with those opportunities and that happens to them, but that is not a thing that majority is going to experience. And so you don't want to get caught up in thinking that you are going to be that person, because what that will do will leave you dependent on something outside of yourself, dependent on these external circumstances, dependent on you not being able to save yourself. And that's also a thing that will keep you stuck. It is so important to, like, really watch that and to really pay attention to that, and to just have that understanding, man. Like, seriously, you, like, even when I think back when I was at that stage, like, when I was literally in the victim mindset, when I was literally thinking every person was evil, when I thought that people were personally attacking me, when I thought that the world just was, like, out to get me for no reason, and I'm just, like, this little innocent person and all of that. And that's not to say that whatever things that you went through, that you were not the victim in the situation, or not even the victim, that you were not the innocent person in the situation. But there's a difference. Like, of course you can have things happen to you and you didn't necessarily deserve it, but a victim mentality is, like I said, where you take every little thing and try to say that it was a personal attack against you, and that puts you in a situation where you're not taking any self-accountability. Like, there's a difference. Obviously there's some situations where something happened, but then again, it's a perspective thing, because me, there's a bunch of different things that's happened to me and I don't see myself as a victim. I just view it as, okay, this and this happened and it resulted in this. Okay, I might have not done anything to necessarily like deserve that, right? But it's just a thing that happened because it's a part of life. Like, different things happen within life, you know? And I'm not going to internalize anything or take it personally. Still, you know, that doesn't mean to not give yourself grace and to like allow yourself to like really, you know, take the time to understand why certain things happen, or like how certain things happen, or whatever it is, like whatever your process is to help you deal with when things happen. It's just a matter of like, don't take 40 years, don't allow 40 years of your life to pass by because of some things that have happened in the past. Like, if you do that, I mean, it's up to you. You have free will. You can do whatever you want. But this is just a video to help you understand that, like, you can literally victim your life away. You know what I mean? By allowing yourself to be a victim your entire life, you're not going to live life. It's easier to make that choice. It's easier to just look at these things and to always take them super personally and to put out this like hatred towards like the world or whatever's going on, you know what I mean? But it takes a lot of courage and it takes a lot of strength and hard decisions in order to overcome certain things so that you can live with a certain type of mindset. I just personally, from someone who literally used to be a victim, had a victim complex, a victim mindset, you know, victimhood, whatever you want to call it, like victim city, where I used to be from, you know, from someone who literally used to think like that. And I could create a video like where I have like visual proof, like how I used to think, the types of stuff I used to text to people, like just the way I used to text to myself. Like I have things in the notes. I have like different things from like so long ago that I'm like glad, like, because something I used to do was like, I started recording myself. Like, I started recording myself because, you know, I didn't have anyone to talk to, right? So I just used to talk about how I was feeling or talk how I was thinking to the camera, to myself. But it was a video and pictures and screenshots that I had to myself. And I'm glad that I have that, because now I can like show people like, bro, I literally went from that to where I am now. Like, you can really do this, but it's a matter of like choice, bro. Because like me, I literally got tired of it. That's literally what happened. I was like, okay, am I really just gonna keep doing this? I was literally sitting in my room thinking to myself, like, am I really about to just keep doing this? Like, what am I really getting from this? What's really going on now? Like, it's been this much time and this is how I'm thinking right now. Like, that is not doing anything for me. And so that caused me to like seek out, okay, well, what can I do to get better? And it's like, okay, well, what really happened? I mean, what can I really have done better? And it just led into more questions, deeper questions, more answers. And that's just what led me to where I am now. Like, that self-discovery is a real thing. Like, some people don't get tired of it, because some people really drag it out for 40 years. But, you know, that's what happened to me. I just got tired of it and I started to seek answers about what was going on in my life and like made those necessary changes. This is not a video to say just ignore yourself and toughen up and just, you know, not acknowledge your feelings at all. Always allow yourself to express your emotions. Always allow yourself to feel your emotions and everything. This is for people who do the same things and then make it as if somebody is doing it for them or doing it to them, instead of it being a thing of taking self-accountability for choosing to do the same things repeatedly. And this is a thing too. Whenever you do not reprogram your subconscious mind, obviously there's still going to be old programs and habits within that, And so that's going to contribute towards you making the same decisions. But that's why you can decide to reprogram your mind the way that you're thinking. Obviously, it's going to be hard, especially depending on how long you've done it. But every person's different. Some people might start to do this and it might become easier for them. Everyone's different, but you should definitely try it because it can happen regardless. You can reprogram your mind. I've literally done it myself. And so I know that this is real and I know that this is true and you can really do it. So yeah, reprogram your subconscious mind so that you can start making different decisions so you can get yourself out of that victim cycle of just, you know, that sort of thing. But if you resonated with anything I spoke about, consider liking, subscribing, and sharing so that if you resonated with anything I spoke about, consider liking, subscribing, and sharing so that this video reaches someone who may also need to hear this message. Thank you and bye.